I'm Katherine Romanak from the University of Texas Bureau of Economic Geology. I'm an environmental geochemist, and I specialize in developing environmental monitoring plans for geologic storage sites. So I'm here at the GHGT14 conference because this is by far the largest and most important conference for CCS technology in the world. And anybody who is anyone in CCS, from capture to transport to policy regulation and storage, every single aspect of CCS is covered at this conference. So I am a geochemist, and I'm on the storage side. So I develop environmental monitoring plans for CCS sites. So this is the purpose of our research is actually to make sure that environmental monitoring is accurate, and that it's also cost effective, and that it's stakeholder friendly. So we're trying to make sure that the monitoring approaches that are used for the environment are optimized. So, and this is basically for in case of any kind of a allegation or an incident at a CCS site, we want to be sure to make sure that we can understand the difference between a natural variation signal in the near surface and something that might represent leakage. And the interesting thing about that is that there is the CO2 in the soils is actually increasing due to global warming. And so we do expect over time to see more CO2 naturally in the soils, and we just want to make sure that that is not mistaken for a leakage signal. The other important issue that we're here at the conference discussing is getting CCS implemented in developing countries. We have very large carbon reduction targets that we need to make under the Paris Agreement, and the IEA has shown, their modeling has shown that 75% of those emissions reductions through CCS will need to come through developing countries. However, many of the developing countries right now that have the potential to store CO2 geologically do not know about CCS. And so one of the things we're doing is we're going to the United Nations Conference of the Parties. We're doing CCS site events, and we're giving an invitation to developing countries to use the new funding mechanisms that are coming online at the United Nations, to use these funding mechanisms for stimulating CCS in their countries. Well, the key message that I'd like to send to my colleagues is just that we are doing something very important. We need to continue, and we need to work as hard as we can, and believe that we can make our climate targets, that it's possible, and that CCS is a major answer to that emissions reductions question.